Hey Jacob, what's going on? Coach Benlin here. Just breaking down some of your swings from our last session. In this video, I'm going to go over the improvements and some adjustments for you. Break down a frame by frame of your swing from the last session. Go over a couple video loops of your swings. And I'll throw my contact up there. You could text me or email me whenever you want. Um, I put it all in a document. I hope this helps. Um, it's probably easy if you want to keep some of this, take a screenshot real quick. I could also email it to you. But as far as improvements goes, a lot of things that we really like what you're doing right now. Major improvements from where you were at the end of summer, and especially even the last couple of weeks, I've seen improvement. And I'll show it to you in the video and the breakdown in a second. But the first thing that I wanted to go over was you're definitely doing a better job. Number one on the list right here of landing closed. Right, you were flying open, bringing the whole front side open, going up that chain, front foot to the knee, to the hip, to the shoulder, to the head, pulling your head out. And you're doing a lot better job of landing with that front foot closed, staying closed for longer than you were doing. There's definitely more room for improvement as far as that, but I'm definitely seeing some good stuff in regards to landing closed. We talked last video about linear versus rotational hitting, and I thought you were completely, rotating backwards and unloading forward and rotating, um, you know, being dead pull, having trouble with the outer half pitches. We talked about the rock the baby drill, and I think that really helped turn you into more of a linear approach. And I'm seeing a lot of improvements with that as well. As far as your overall approach with the plate, when I first saw you, you're definitely, I feel like you thought power came from the pull side. You're pull side dominant, and now I think you're living more up the middle. I see you working, spraying it to right center field, living gap to gap, especially off the tee and in the drills, which is, you know, what I think is the best to kind of, fix some of the holes in your swing. As far as adjustments go, it says number one here, the rear leg in load. I'm going to try to break down some of this vocabulary the best I can. You're pretty familiar with it from the clinics that we do in the one-to-one drills. But talking about your rear leg in the load, right? It says knee inside back foot. And what I mean by that, and we did this as well in the last session, was not rotating outward, right? That knee not going outside and rotating backwards, staying inside the knee inside of that back foot and building up in that heel and the ball of your foot on the inside part of your foot, inside of the knee and in the back hip, right? That load. We talked about the balance, pinching in the front side, staying balanced like that. And you're doing a lot better job already. And it's only been a week or two of that. And you'll see in the video, you're kind of in between the rotation that you were doing externally, outward, and then doing a decent job now of staying inside. You're kind of in between, and I'll show you some of the good swings where, I definitely see that you building energy in the right places in your load. The second part is the bottom hand. We've been working on this a lot, you and I. We focused on, the vocab terms for pulling the knob through the inside of the ball. So pulling the knob, not being top hand dominant so much and rolling over early, right? Keeping that top hand in support of the bottom hand as you pull that knob through the inside of the ball towards the pitch that's coming, and not locking the lead arm, right? That left arm, that bottom hand over the plate, and then yanking that locked arm, and giving away the outer half of the plate. And we'll talk about that in a second as well. And the third thing I had as far as adjustments was the more I watch the video, I feel like you're leaking energy, leaking power after your load as you're transferring, towards that point of contact. And I'll show you what I mean in the video. You're generating a decent amount of power now, especially with that, the rear leg we're talking about in that load. You're generating a good amount of power. I feel like you're raising your waistline, like you're coming up as the pitch comes in. And as you're rising up, I feel like I put power leak. I feel like you're losing some power that you generated in the load as you go to meet the ball. And I think you'll see it in the video a little more. I talk about starting in an athletic position. I would work on continuing, staying athletic, staying, bent a little bit in the knees, sitting in the hips a little bit as you come through contact and finishing in that athletic position as well. But let's take a look at these adjustments here in these in this frame by frame right now. The rear leg in the load, the bottom hand, and then staying connected top and bottom. We'll also monitor these 3 improvements as well, make sure that we're staying consistent with those. So looking at the frame by frame here from the last session, and I'll play the video loop as well. There's some good swings and there's some miss hits as well. And we'll talk about why we're getting some miss hits, why I think we're getting some miss hits. But let's start with, one of those improvements we're talking about. Looking at this front foot, as you come forward, you're doing a great job. Much better job. Look at that, landing closed, staying closed through the front side there. Right there, as the ball's coming in, right here at this point, you're doing a decent job closing. Could we keep that front hip right there closed a little bit longer? I definitely think so. If this is a curveball or slider from a right-handed pitcher breaking away, we don't want to give up the outer half there by opening up that front hip too early. But definitely some good things here as far as landing close, staying closed longer, the front shoulder staying closed a little bit longer. Pretty good stuff there. Looking at the lower half there, you got a little bit of 90 degree. You see that front foot right here, jolting forward, getting a lot of power from that back hip that you built in. Front side is pretty straight right there. So definitely improvements that I'm seeing in the swing overall. But looking at that front side, definitely lands closed. And that's something you were really having trouble with earlier. Looking at the top half here, your upper half here in the load, chin locked on the front shoulder, pretty good. I like where your hands are. Trying to avoid this bat wrap as much as possible here. Let me draw on the screen. We want this knob definitely facing the catcher's mitt here, right? Not wrapping behind your head so much there, right? We'd prefer if you stayed up here prior to launch position, right? And ready to snap it forward as you pull your hands through. But we'll monitor that, we'll watch that. But looking at the first adjustment we talked about in that rear leg. So this knee right here, just to review it, right? You were tending to turn outside here and rotate your hips and your back. Everything was rotating this way. And what we worked on last session, which I'm seeing a little bit of improvement here, is we want to keep, if the foot's here, we definitely want to keep the knee on the inside here. So you're generating power on the inside of the knee, inside of the foot here, heel and ball of the foot, and then ultimately in the back hip here before you unload. Definitely doing a better job of that. Let's continue on, flip through. Head coming down through the point of contact, great stuff there. Right, we're talking about pulling that knob through, not being top hand dominant through contact here. Even on the finish right here, let me draw on the screen 1 second. We see palm up, palm down here at the point of contact, pretty good. Hips are opening fully here, a little bit of a 90 straight leg, right? There's a lot of good things here. And I like that this arm right here isn't locking like it was. We're gonna extend through contact, get to this point before we have that finish up and out here. A lot of improvements. Going back to the list here, we had staying connected with the top and bottom half. Looking at the frame by frame here, it's a good way to see this here. Here, let me annotate this so I could show you. So right here, you're gonna see your waistline here. Okay, and as you build, you're gonna store that energy, build energy in this back hip here, and what we want to avoid happening is you raising up this way as you transfer your weight forward. And let me clear it, and we'll watch it as we go here. Okay. Working our way through the swing. Okay, sorry. Starting from the beginning, getting into our load. Right there, look at that, building, right, closing that front hip a little bit. And watch as you come forward. See how your level rises a little bit? And this is one of the better swings in the session. Sometimes you're rising, you know, right here. Look where how low you are right here. You could use that that back tee right there in between the orange bucket as a reference there. And watch how you're gonna rise up to here as you come forward. We wanna make sure that we're sitting even more, staying athletic through contact. It's not as bad in this frame by frame right here, but you'll see it a little more on some of the miss hits, I think, in the video loop. So let's get right into the video loop and look for some of these things. Optimize my screen here, try to keep the quality good. Okay. So let's keep an eye on those adjustments as we flip through this. Let's watch that load in the rear leg, right? Making sure that knee is inside the foot, not rotating externally. Let's see if we're pulling that knob through and not being top hand dominant and rolling over. And let's make sure that we're continuing with some of those, you know, the good things that you're doing in the past few weeks of landing closed and keeping your head on, not locking that left arm. Let's check it out. You see a couple miss hits in this loop, but you tag a couple of them. Don't worry so much about the results though. Let's go with the process here. So line drive right back out of here. So let's start by looking at the back foot there, right? Let's key on that back foot, that rear leg. See, better balance, straight up, you know. I don't see you rolling to the outside of that foot like you were doing. Let's watch one more here. See right there's a little bit of an external rotation. You see some of the bad habits still coming in here. Let's watch the front side here. Are you landing closed? Let's see. Yes, you're doing it much better. It's naturally going to open after when that swing comes through, but landing closed, trying to stay closed as long as possible. It's a good shot right there. Let's watch the hands now. Okay, let's see that bottom hand pulling through, top hand in support, not rolling that top hand over so much. There, right there. That's the one I'm worried about. That's the top. Yeah, I could tell by your body language. You knew it too. Rolling over a little bit. Let's watch the loop again. Here we go. Let's watch that hand, those hands. See that one, you're kind of ending up in your pocket. You're leading with the knob, getting the knob inside the ball. There's a great shot right there. Great job balancing both hands, not being dominant. There's another one. Bang, bang, back to back. One of the reasons that I think there's some miss hits here, I feel like when we're getting ready to shoot the video, I feel like some of the approach stuff we're working on, you know, was cutting the plate in thirds, like we've been talking about, inner third, middle, outer third, right? Catching that ball out in front a little bit, recognizing it early, opening your eyes, dropping the barrel on it, pulling the hand through, you know, on the inside pitch, letting it get to you in the middle and hit it right back where it came from, right off the L screen when it's middle. And then you got a couple of outer pitches here that you try to pull. Some of the rollovers here are I remember from the video, are outer half pitches, outer third pitches that we're going to work on seeing them deep, going the other way. But definitely a lot of improvement here. Let me show some tee work as well. I have a loop of. Let me pull that up. 1 second here. Couple swings off the tee we can look at. Watch for these things. It's a great job off the tee. Yeah, on that shot there, that's a good view of the back foot. This shot, we got a good view of the hand path here. Let's see it. Pull that bottom hand through inside the ball. Yeah, a little loft off the bat. One more time. Yeah, that's pretty good. A lot of improvement here. So just to go over some of the things here before I get you out of here, quick review. And like I said before, if you want to take a screenshot of this, this might help. I have these from my notes. I transferred into a document here to help you. I can also email to you. Let's continue to work on that load, right? Building in that backside there, in that back hip, keeping the knee inside the foot, not rotating outward, and then staying linear going forward, right? Not over rotating and putting our hands in our pocket. The second one, we're work on that bottom hand a little more, right? Making sure there's good balance in both hands. Getting the hands through the inside of the ball. Would do a little one hand drill going forward. I think that's really helping you. Um, isolating both hands and breaking it down like that before we go live with the full swing. And then we'll focus on staying connected with the top and bottom half, not leaking some of that power out as you rise up, keeping that waist level low, sitting in your hips before you hip, crunching into the ground, pressure into the ground, both sides of the feet, both feet before you launch forward. But a lot of good things going on. And I'm excited to see what you can do next. Great job, man.